Hello everyone, I'm Rob Smith from In the Black VTF here at T3Live.com with today's market wrap up, and what a day. Awesome. Let's take a look here if you can see my SPY chart here. And what's interesting too is I was here on Friday and talked about a few things that have continued to play out, and hopefully that's helping you this month. One of the things I talked about is if you look at the S&P here, Spider, there's very few shadows, and that continued. Straight up, straight up, straight up. We got a little bit up there yesterday and came down, and then today straight up, which has been great directional trading for day trading, because you get follow through on the upside or the downside so far most of this month, which has been awesome. So it looks like they're going to try and get the vote through tonight, see if we get a deal, turn the lights back on in the government, and get a new credit card, and off we go. We also got some earnings coming out, but a few more things I wanted to point out here. If we take a look at the Dow Jones here. Once again, we had an inside day for the Dow, and you hear me talk about inside bars a lot, and especially in the Dow. We had the highs called by an inside bar, and then dropped all the way back down to here, and then an inside day and back up for the Dow. That helped everything too. Still back in the middle of this range, but one of the reasons I talk about that is an inside bar, because it's an equilibrium and goes between the previous open and close. Is an equilibrium. Couldn't go to a new high, couldn't go to a new low. So the question is that an exhaustion of the rally, or was that a rest before more buying? And in this case, it was a rest before more buying, as opposed to up in here, which was an exhaustion to the downside. So if we go back to the S&P real quick here, Spider, you'll see we're approaching the all-time highs up in here. It looks like full steam ahead. And another thing I talk about on the VTF, and we trade pretty much every day, is the VIX products. And I want to show you the example of that. So for today, if you came in along the S&P 500, Spider, you were up 1.4%. However, if you chose to short the VIX products, and especially today, UVXY, you ain't got no alibi, you ugly, bam, UVXY, simply by having a bullish call on the market, you could short that instead of going long the S&P. And if you came in short that today, you're down. The UVXY down 22.35%, which would be more than the percentage loss of the 87 crash in one day. So I understand some people feel like that they're a little bit too volatile for them. However, when you have moves of that magnitude, there's a lot more entry points during the day than just in the S&P. So you want to consider that. Another thing I've talked about too is that when you have a market that gaps up and starts running away from you, not everybody's good at the gap and go moves. So this morning, when you get this and it starts running up, not everybody's good at catching that or trying to figure out how to get here, upside measured move, stuff like that. So oftentimes what we'll do when we see a large gap in either direction is, first things, I want to look at things going the other direction. And so today you had SWK come out with earnings. And so you can see down in here, as soon as it opens, this thing starts tanking, because if you're long this thing, first of all, they missed on their earnings. And second of all, the market's going up. You want to use that capital to buy stocks that are going up, and you're going to dump your losers immediately. So as soon as that bell opens, we're looking for stuff like this, because we know people on the long side are having all sorts of problems and need to get out, and we're going to help them make that decision by pushing it even lower. If you take a look at something like TDC, yesterday got hit, and that was a continuation today. These guys were hoping for a bounce. They didn't get it, and right out the chute, you know they got to dump that again. There's stuff like RL, I believe, still having some problems. We had CTHS having weakness. And so sometimes people are like, I want to short the thing that's up the most because it's up too much. And, you want to always remember there's somebody on the other side of that trade, and you want them to be scared and wrong, and that's how you do it. So you might want to consider that next time we get a big gap, and who knows, that could be in the morning. So we'll see how that goes. If we take a look at some of the usual suspects here, we had some nice moves, across the board, but here, especially stuff like SYYS or PXD, a lot of the energies, SLCA, going to the moon in SCTY, another nice move for that, and the other sign of SYNA, a whole bunch of great moves out of all that kind of stuff. So right now, as I look, we've got earnings coming out. IBM has come out and getting a smackdown. So IBM, as of right now, is trading 175.70. So she's getting the treatment back down all the way, taking all this stuff all the way back out to the lows. We got eBay here coming out with earnings and down $3 to 50.85. See you down into here. So A little rough start to some of these techers. We've got Google coming out tomorrow afternoon. We always like to watch that. As far as the S&P is concerned, we got these earnings coming out, but the SPY here trading 170, 173, coming in a little bit. And remember, even that would just be an inside day. However, we got a vote tonight. We're going to see how the market reacts to that. Is it going to be a case of sell the news? It could be, and the good thing about it is we got away with it because there's no vote during the day. We got to go close out on the highs, let the vote happen, and then see what happens, so you didn't really have to panic out of anything like that. So that's going to do it. I think we have Goldman Sachs coming out tomorrow as well, so maybe after we get all this news out of the way, and certainly some really great trading month, that we start to focus on the earnings, and it's going to be more of a case-by-case basis why the market perhaps can start to digest some of this move, or why not just go up to some new highs. But we'll see. That's going to do it for today. I'm Rob Smith for Smith in the Black VTF here at T3Live.com. Hope you all have a great night. See you in the morning.